This concept, this tool, this strategy, this approach that I'm about to present is based on lots of grant proposal writing experience. Out of all of the report genres that I've designed this course to deal with, grant proposal writing is, first of all, the most sophisticated, but also second, the one that I have the most expertise with, actually. It's in my wheelhouse. And not necessarily because I do an okay job with grant proposal writing, but I know a lot of people who are great at it, really great at it. And so I've gone to school on them. I've seen what they do. I've asked them about their approaches. I asked them a lot of questions, like you do if you want to do something better. You find people who do it even better and figure out how, and then you do what they did. And this is what I know as a result of doing that about proposal writing. Successful proposals respond to fears. You're bidding for a job. Just because your bid is the lowest doesn't mean it's, okay, that's the one we go with. No. As a matter of fact, in most cases, the lowest bid, never gone with. Your bid, your proposal, will be the one that's selected if it's the one, Gesundheit, that makes people feel safest. Safest. And if you think about it, that makes sense if you think about the social context. I am thinking about hiring you to be my city's mowing contractor. We're going to have to live with each other for a period of time, right? We're going to have to deal with each other every week. And it's going to be a legally binding contractual situation. That sounds a little bit like marriage, right? I'm auditioning, folks, for a legally binding contractual relationship where we're going to have to deal with each other all the time. And where there's a lot of room for perhaps broken promises. Okay, so the proposal evaluation stage is like the dating stage. It's like, okay, well, what criteria do I have? And everybody's got their checklist, or you do when you're of a certain age, we tell you. But also, you're looking for who makes you feel safest. Who do you feel safe? Who do you feel safest with? That's the person you go with. Same thing in proposal evaluation. Who do you feel safest with? Let's go with that. Okay. That's it. That's the secret. Now, there are a lot of general fears that you could imagine in especially a municipal situation like this, like maybe they won't complete the work, maybe they'll skip out, maybe the work won't be good, or that'll be bad. Maybe they won't come in on the budget that they promised. I mean, these are all sort of common general fears that folks have when they're evaluating, especially a proposal like this. But they really all boil down to this. Am I going to get burned? I'm the mayor of Augusta, say. Am I going to get burned by selecting the wrong contractor? Because if you're mayor of Augusta and you sign a contract with somebody and they skip out, well, that's going to come back on you, right? If you're the mayor of Augusta and they do a crappy job, well, that's really going to come back on you, right? Especially in the golf course, because registered voters tend to be also golfers. There's a very high correlation there. So you want them to do a good job. If they don't do a good job, you're going to suffer. So again, really the core fear that you want to respond to, the most general fear for a reviewer is this going to screw me up? That's the core fear you're responding to. And then the rest is just like, well, how could we do stuff? How might we do stuff? How could other contractors do things that would boomerang back on it? Let's respond to those things concretely. Because you don't want to just start your proposal with, don't worry, we won't screw you over. This is probably not a good approach, because you want to be careful about your tone. You want to be really careful about your tone. And again, this is where well, first of all, here's an example. Let's say that you want to create a section or have a whole major chapter in your, to use a novelistic term, in your proposal devoted to responding to the going over budget fear. Like, you think the reviewer might be afraid that you go over budget, so you want to respond to that. Don't call that section why we won't go over budget. Because if, like, I'm reading the proposal and then it comes, why we won't go over budget? What? That sounds like you've gone over budget a lot, so that's why this is a thing. Let's reword that to make it more confident. How's about we have a section that says how we manage budgets carefully? Which is saying the same thing, but it sounds more confident when you word it that way. Subtext, we never go over budget because we manage budgets carefully. Versus, we must go over budget all the time in the past because this is why we won't go over budget. Now I sound all nervous and I'm a sweaty Willy Loman, salesperson. Here's another analogy to get at that. Maybe this will go over well, maybe not. Last class didn't get the joke, but again, going back to the dating analogy, right? You're dating. You're trying to find someone that you're safe with. You're at dinner, making conversation, and here's what they lead off a conversation with. Oh, by the way, I've never been convicted of a felony. Like, I've never done this, I've never done that, I've never done... Whoa. Instead, if you want to, get at this concept of, I'm probably not a criminal, talk about how your sister's a state trooper, right? Then they can conclude, oh, you're probably not a criminal then, right? Have something confident and positive, a fact, not just say, I don't do crimes, I don't, Here's another one. Don't talk about how you're going to be really, really rich someday. I'm going to be really rich. I'm going to be really rich and successful and, no. Now, if you want them to conclude that about yourself, then let's talk about a concrete quality of yourself that it'll probably ultimately result in that. Like your hopes and dreams of starting your own plastic surgery clinic.
So be subtle.
Yeah. I mean, or the way I would describe it is be matter of fact. Just imagine, what facts about me would cause someone to have this general conclusion. We'll just give them the facts. Yeah.
I think for an example related to the actual assignment, so that you're not going to bail on them.
Right.
Would you be I've been in business for how many years or whatever?
Yeah, or even better, have you done work for other towns in the past? Okay, well, what were those towns? Can I have contact info for the people? Yeah, give me some references and stuff. I mean, because here's the thing. If I have a section that says, don't worry, we won't bail on you. Instead, you could have a section that's called something like our successful history. And then you say, okay, we've done 10 jobs in the past 10 years for other towns. Here are these city managers that we work directly with. Oh, by the way, here's their phone numbers. I mean, if you want to call them. These are facts I'm giving you, and they sound like, someone wouldn't be giving me those facts if they were trying to hide the fact that they skip out. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it's like asking yourself, what concrete facts would connect to that? I'm just going to give them the facts. Instead of saying, no, we won't bail in 3 different ways. Is that helpful? Another analogy that I tried last class, they didn't get it. Not to beg, this is going on tape. That didn't go over as well as I thought it could have in the last class. Maybe the analogy is just fundamentally flawed. Because it's been a while, I guess the internship was the last Owen Wilson. Is it Owen or Luke? I always get confused. Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn, right?
Yeah.
Did anybody see it? Yeah, was it okay?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, okay. But you remember Wedding Crashers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, because that's their classic, I guess. But one of the dynamics that I think, that makes their pairing work sometimes, maybe, when they're given a script, is Owen Wilson. He's he's the calm guy. He's the calm guy. It's Owen Wilson. In the Wedding Crashers, he was the character that was just and the Vince Vaughn was the antic character. he's got the flop sweats and, he gets through the like, whatever he's trying to, whatever situation he's in. But he's like whereas Owen Wilson is like. So in your proposal, think about what would Owen Wilson do? How can you put something in there that would just be like, as opposed to like, no, don't worry, no, don't be Vince Vaughn in your proposal.
You could bribe him, right?
Be Wilson. That's what Vince Vaughn would do.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. If you did, like, here's the thing, why you should select us. We will give you, Mayor Quimbley, $5,000 under the table. Please select us. Probably not what a company that won't skip out would do, right? That might connect to some other things. Yeah, you just want to just take the Wilson approach.
So you pay him afterwards,
You
right?
pay him afterwards. You even did the Wilson. I like that. Well, so this is where the do no fear brainstorming comes in. So let's take a break, and then we'll do a little bit of. I'll introduce you to a technique, much like the do no fear technique. That'll hopefully get us to concrete stuff that'll make this more clear. Because it's a pretty clear idea in theory, but like most relatively simple theories, it's the practice that can be hard. So.